In this tutorial, we're going to walk you through creating your very first automation workflow and let you get a sense for everything that you're going to encounter whenever you're creating your workflows and just starting to use marketing automation. And so as you might notice, I've got a green dot on my screen. This is basically going to be me going through our interactive tutorial that's available within your marketing automation feature that you've got in your account. However, maybe those of you don't really feel like going through it yourself manually. You just want to kind of, hear someone explain what it is they're seeing, the hows and the whys for where things are located and things like that. And this video is definitely going to be for you guys. And so you can see I'm going to go ahead and go through this workflow, and pre-selected is going to be for subscribes. And you can see that you've got some grayed out options. We're just going to go through this kind of predefined workflow here for this example, but you can see that you've got these additional conditions that they're called with Getresponse, these different conditions that you'll use to start your workflow. And so in this example, we're going to start subscribes. And I'll only briefly mention that if you do decide yourself to go through the interactive tutorial, simply hover your mouse on the different green flashing dots that you'll see throughout this video, and you'll be able to go through the interactive tutorial yourself and be able to learn exactly the how and the why for yourself manually via text. But here we are going to go through it. And so we're going to click subscribes, and you can see whenever I click subscribe, it opens up this workspace, we could call it, for marketing automation. This area is where you're going to be building your workflows. And so this is going to be a very simple drag and drop feature that hopefully you guys will start to get used through all throughout Getresponse, creating messages and landing pages and forms. And so we're going to see on the right side here, this is all of our different elements that we can utilize within our workflows. So this is the workspace where we build the workflows and actually, create these really interesting, maybe complicated, maybe very simple scenarios for our subscribers to go through. And we build them using elements that are all located over here. And the elements are made up of conditions. So we saw a few conditions right before I started the workflow, which is, for example, a condition being that they subscribed via some particular method. Maybe they clicked a link, any link, or a particular link, maybe. Did they open a message? Do they have a particular score assigned to them? Or do they have a particular tag assigned to them? So these are the conditions. And again, they're only grayed out in this example because we're going through this predefined workflow. And I want to mention it briefly in case those of you are curious. If you do not care to continue going through the interactive tutorial, if you've enabled it, you can simply disable it by turning it off, and the page will simply reload, and then you'll be free to build your own free-form workflow. So just a little tidbit there for you guys. But going back down to our elements, the next section is our actions. So the actions are usually what you'll do after someone meets some condition, like maybe they subscribed via some particular form, or maybe they opened some particular message. Usually after that, your next move, a lot of times, will be to react to that condition being met and have an action element moved over here into the workflow area. And so the different actions you can see, of course, are to send a particular message, copy them to a campaign, maybe move them to a campaign. You could apply a tag, some particular tag to them, or give them a score. And so this is second set of actions. And then the third set within the elements we have here are filters. And so for right now, we've got the filter of delay, range, and amount. And we'll go through them just a little bit whenever we utilize one of the filters in this workflow example. But this is going to be a neat way to really, fine-tune your workflows, really specify them, create some urgency. With, for example, the amount filter, you can make it so the first 100 openers of your message are automatically sent some exclusive discount. So you could be mentioning that in a message. Or a range. You could either create some type of A/B test and send different types of messages to a range of your subscribers, or maybe give different promotions or prizes or deals for the first 0 to 100 clickers you've got, and then, the 101st to 200 will get something else. And then a delay is a very common filter of just waiting some time before you take another action or check for another condition. And so I know that's a lot of explanation about all these elements. We do have lots of dedicated resources for you guys, like FAQs and other video tutorials that go through marketing automation as well. But this is kind of going to be us going through this predetermined workflow here. So this is going to just be hopefully getting you guys an overview about what you're going to be seeing here and understanding the lingo, like this being called a workspace where we build our workflows and different elements being used to build those workflows. workflows. And with those three types of elements, we've got the conditions, the actions, and the filters. So with that all said, let's continue building this workflow. And so in this example, I'm going to be moving over the send message action element over here into the workspace, and then connecting the two elements. So this is how you can see that we're actually, building a workflow is by connecting the connection points to each other. And so we'll see that as we proceed forward, how we actually create this really, beautiful string of actions, conditions, and filters to make up our workflow. And now we're going to see that we've got this Properties tab here. Because the Add Elements tab is, again, where we're going to utilize all of these three types of elements and moving them into our workflow to build this really, particular scenario. But then in Properties, for each of these elements, you'll be able to specify different details based on the element that you have highlighted. So currently, highlighted and selected, here in blue is, remember, the action of send a message. So of course in Properties, I want to go ahead and specify which message should be sent to these people who subscribed via my form. So we can see we're going to automatically choose Select a Message, and we've got this predetermined message choice here for the example of tutorial message. So now you can see they subscribed via the form, now we're going to send them a message. And from this point now, we're good to go back to our elements because we need to keep going. We, have more that we want to do in this particular workflow, because now that we've sent this message, we can say, or we will send this message to those who sign up via this form. It's probably, pretty normal that we would want to know, did they actually open my message? And so we've got this very awesome condition called message opened that we're going to just drag and drop right here under the send message element. And then remember, linking these two so they're connected. So they have a relationship now, we could say. And so that way we're going to be sending this message to them, and then automatically we'll be checking were any of the was this particular message opened? Did they open it? Because this is something you want to probably be keeping track of and making proper decisions and actions further for that. And so a neat way you can see that we're doing now, we're not just going straight to another action, because we actually want to check another condition here, which is, did they click a link in the message that we sent them? So it makes sense. They opened the message, but also you want to know, did they click a link? So we've got the link clicked condition here, and we're going to move it over here to the side. That's this yes connection point of message opened, because this logic then leads us to, we sent them a message, we're checking, did they open the message? And if yes, so green checkpoint of course means yes, we want to know, so they opened it, but did they click? So that's how you can see that you can mark two conditions together in a neat way to see, okay, so did they open? Yes, they opened. Did they click my link? And so now that we have, asked the question, basically, was a link clicked, we want to go back to Properties. Remember that we did that for our action tutorial message that we chose. We're going to do it again for this link clicked. Going to Properties, and we're going to specify which message. So there's a particular link that we have included in this tutorial message that we want to be checking, did they actually click that link? And so you can see we're going through and selecting the specific link, the specific message that it's in, and now choosing the specific link that we want to check. And so now we can see, was this specific link clicked in the tutorial message? So this is going to be good for us to know, did they actually click this link? And so from here, we're going to start kind of working. We can kind of guess, since our little predefined workflow here has indicated to place this here, that we might be doing something with the negative connection point, or the no. Was this message opened? No. So let's see what we're going to do. And now we're going back to a new action we've not used just yet called tag. So we're going to move this tag element over. Then you're going to see we're going to make that connection again. So you can see, if someone did not open this message, no, you can see we've connected it to assign or remove a tag. So now we need to go to Properties and actually give them a tag. And so you can create a tag if you haven't created one just yet that you would like to apply it to this scenario, or use one that's existing. But we're going to create a tag here. So I'm going to call this inactive 4. I'm only doing that because I have many tags I've created in some examples called inactive, so I'm just creating one. You can name it whatever you would like, and click Add. And so now we can see everyone who actually does not end up opening this message, we're going to assign them a tag to their subscriber profile called inactive 4. And that way we can start searching for people based on tags. We can start applying different, workflows, actions, and conditions for people that have a particular tag, and so on. But we want to keep moving on. And so now we're going to do something for those, looks like that they did open our message and then they did click our link. We're going to use this additional action that we've not used yet called score. And so you'll hopefully come to see that tagging and scoring are really excellent ways to start really proactively and, smartly, I could say, managing your subscriber database. So because you're tracking these opens and clicks, if you're applying different tags and scores that you're setting up for your strategy, you're going to be able to really keep track of, who's engaging with you, who is not, what content in particular people are engaging with. That's only going to help you make better decisions for the future. And so moving this score element over here, we're going to connect it to link clicked. So people who opened my message, then they clicked that link I specified. I'm going to connect them. And then you'll probably guess, of course, I need to go back to properties and enter a score. So this could be up to you. This is totally up to you and how you're going to set up a strategy for scoring your subscribers. You need to decide for yourself, how much is an open worth to me? How much is a click worth to me? Maybe every open gets 2 points and every click gets 5 points, or so on. You can really just set up your own strategy. That way you can start seeing when people are getting up to some number of points. Maybe these are your, truly really some loyal subscribers that you could then send some kind of exclusive offer to or something. So I'm just going to enter in, let's say 100 points just because that looks fun. And so we're going to be adding 100 scoring points to those who have opened and then clicked my link. But now for those who didn't, looks like we're going to probably use tagging. So you can see tagging and scoring are very important. That's why we're featuring them, is because it's a really smart way to start, keeping track of your database. So let's move over this tag again, connecting it to the no connection point here. So these people opened my message, but they did not click that specific link. So remember, going back to properties to specify what type of tag. And maybe we want to give them the same tag as those who didn't actually open the message, or maybe one that's different because you would like to indicate, well, they opened, but they didn't click. So maybe they're, semi-active or semi-inactive. So I'll just give them one of my predefined tags that I've already set up here, and you could do just the same. Let's go back to the element, and now we're finally going to get to utilize some filters. And remember at the beginning, I mentioned that filters are just a neat way to really kind of specify and, really hone and sharpen your contact with your subscribers. But also there's this excellent delay filter as well, which you'll find very handy because it just puts some time in between, different actions that you'd like to do. So let's move over the delay filter. And we're going to connect it to the scoring points because it looks like we would like for this delay to actually affect, again, those openers, those clickers, and those who just got 100 points to them. So we need to specify how long we want this delay to be for. So we do that in properties. And so again, we have this preset, 1 day, 12 hours, 30 minutes of that's a day and a half, basically. Just that's a pretty standard time to wait between things or give people time to open your messages or click links or something like that. But you could make it anytime. For example, we set this example to be for 2. So wait for 2 days, 0 hours, and 0 minutes. Okay, so we're going to add 100 points, wait for 2 days, and now we want to send them a message. This is an excellent example for how, a particular workflow could go. They've just signed up, you send them maybe a welcome message, you check if they opened and if they clicked, you added some points, you gave them some time, you gave them 2 days, you don't want to fatigue anyone, and then we're going to send them a new message, maybe some kind of cool offer, promotional discount, maybe some educational information, based on kind of how you've been communicating with them already. So we're going to connect these 2 points here. And now actually you can see we are finished. We've created this, workflow basically a place that would be a decent stopping point, so to speak, which is be sending them a new message based on saying, thank you for being such a wonderful subscriber. Opening our messages, we'd like to award you with 10% off your next purchase, or we'd like to provide you with this exclusive ebook download. Would be a great example to send for this selective message here that we were about to do. And so this is just a way for you guys to start getting familiar with the different terminology you're going to see when creating your workflows. So remember, we've got a workspace, we've got elements. Elements are made up of conditions, actions, and filters. And then each element can be more finely tuned within the properties. So hopefully you guys feel a little bit more comfortable about what it is you're going to find within marketing automation and building your workflows, and you can get to it.